Hey there, Michelle. How's it going today? How you feeling?
Hey, Lindsay, I'm good. How are you?
I am feeling amazing today, Michelle.
Amazing. Well, that makes me so happy. That's good. I'm also feeling amazing. This is going to be a great episode.
Oh my God, what are we doing? Sometimes I like to extend my words super long, right? Make them super long. Oh, this is going to be a fun one today, Michelle. What are we getting into today?
Okay, guys, if you couldn't guess, we are going today to be talking about how to draw out your words to show emphasis and personality when you are having a conversation.
Yeah, and I think this is exactly what our listeners need right now because we know you guys, you know the basics. You know the basics. You're probably even above intermediate level. You're wanting to move to that advanced to native-like level, that 99% fluency level, right? So this is why we're here. This is what gets you to that point and actually makes people want to listen to you. Because if you're monotone, what happens?
You sound boring.
It's boring. It's boring, and it doesn't catch the ear. People just don't listen. Right? If you're monotone. Do you know? Yeah.
Sorry. It's actually like even I think because we're not expecting monotone sound, I think it almost becomes difficult to understand in a way, not just being boring, but like because you have to like listen extra to kind of fill in the spaces yourself.
It's true. Do you know anyone who speaks in a very monotone way in English, like a native speaker? Anyone you like on TV or someone you know?
Remember that, that comedian Ben Stein?
No, I don't know him, unfortunately.
You would know him if you, wait, I think he's the one, I actually haven't seen this movie, but in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, who like goes Bueller.
Oh, okay. I love that movie. That's a fun movie.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's Ben Stein, but he's actually like famous for his like monotone voice, right?
And he's a comedian, so it's part of his act. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's part of his act. He's known for that, so that's a little bit different. But
cool.
He's famous for that. But yeah, very important to be expressive in your conversations with your words. And yeah, I thought of this because I was watching a show and someone used the word terrible in a sentence, but they made it super long. Like they were like, "Oh, it's terrible." And I thought, you know what? We do this a lot, and it's something that I think we want to take some time to pay attention to on the podcast because this is a good lesson for our listeners to deal with timing, stress, just showing emphasis, personality, like I said.
Exactly. And then, so let's go through the basics of how to really do this. And then we can take it to an even higher, more advanced level, because I know that sometimes people have inside jokes with friends about extending certain words. Like saying goodbye on the phone. I've heard people around me with certain friends, like very close friends, they'll say something like bye. It's so annoying. And I would never say it, but it's their personal joke, right? And so that's a way to build connection too, is by extending certain syllables just because you did it once and you laughed about it together and now you keep doing it all the time. Right. So that's also a way to build connection. I mean, yeah.
No, that's true. That's true. So, guys, we're going to get into this, but just before we move on, we want to remind you, if you haven't done it yet, hit follow for the All Ears English podcast now. Wherever you're listening to us, make sure that you hit the follow button so you never miss anything from All Ears English.
You don't want to miss a thing from All Ears English, guys. Today's episode also is on YouTube. So if you want to watch the episode, you can go over to our YouTube channel, just type in All Ears English and hit subscribe and check it out over there. Okay, Michelle, let's get into these examples to make sure our listeners know what we're talking about here.
Okay, so you could say, what a terrible day. Or you could say, what a terrible day. Now, what do you think? What do you think about those two examples?
What a terrible day, right? Well, the second one makes me want to say, whoa, what happened? Like, why was it so terrible? It actually gets me a little more interested in you and what's going on in your life, right? So starting a conversation.
Yeah. So I think that, the first one, what a terrible day. It can be just as emphatic if you do it in a little bit of a different way. Like, what a depending on how you play with it. It can also be very interesting to listen to, but lengthening the word is one technique. You can use it to really make it interesting. Like Lindsay said, though, then she wants to hear about it. It makes it expressive and strong. What a terrible day. It's definitely dramatic. It's definitely dramatic, but sometimes sometimes we need that. I mean, it doesn't always have to be that it's super dramatic to do this type of a thing, but just a little bit, with a little bit of pizzazz.
Yeah. Do you think it's possible to overdo it with this, with doing too much of this in the normal way you speak just all the time? Some people do it a lot, this kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it is possible to overdo it. I think, we always want to be expressive, but you don't need to, guys, the last thing we want you to leave here going with is to say, okay, let's go through my conversations, and then now every word I'm gonna do.
No, don't do that. Don't go that far in that direction, right? We just add a little bit of this every once in a while, and we get more connection. Maybe we should give our listeners some examples here, Michelle.
Okay, so here we go.
So what do you think of my new haircut?
Oh, Lindsay, it looks amazing.
Good. So I really needed, you could have said, oh, it looks amazing. And that's okay too, but it's fun if you really want to say it truly is a transformative change, right? Maybe I just got a totally different cut. You want to say amazing.
Right. So again, like the first example was, I had a terrible day. Yeah. Now, it doesn't always have to be for negative things. Like here we have a very positive thing. Oh, you look amazing, right?
Amazing.
Yes. Like doing stretching it out a little bit just makes it more intense,
Yeah, one area that this will happen a lot is when you're wearing a wedding dress, when you're getting your and sometimes it's hard to know whether people really mean it or not, right? Like if you have if you're getting alterations, and there it is, and you get a lot of that. Is it genuine, right? That's one thing that I think people might struggle with. Is it really genuine, or are you just supposed to emphasize amazing when you see someone in a wedding dress?
Oh, I think we have to give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to second guess it, but yeah, of course. All brides look amazing.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. All right, Michelle, here's the next one. Did you have fun today?
Yes, the food was incredible.
Yeah, and that's good. You find a great restaurant, you got to talk about it, right? The food was incredible. You know what's kind of funny, though? When you write this in a text message, it's very weird.
I know. It's like, even just, guys, if you could see my notes now, how do you even write this out with the stretching? I just have a whole bunch of E's, but it's not incredible, right? It's incredible. So it's funny. I guess over text, maybe you would just maybe do all caps, or
you could, yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of different. It doesn't work quite the same, I don't think.
But I think this is what people do over text. I think they write it like incredible with 5 E's. Yeah, or amazing with 5 A's in the middle.
True.
I've seen it for sure.
That's
true.
True.
I don't think there honestly is a better way to deal with that. Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad to know.
Yeah.
So Lindsay, do you draw out your words? Do you stretch them out to express yourself?
I don't know. I feel like we should both record ourselves in our daily life and then take this material to our listeners for a podcast episode.
Yeah.
That would actually be really cool. I don't know if I do or not. I mean, maybe a little bit, but I know some people that do it more, that are a bit more over the top. That's not exactly my personality, but I want to be very warm. I am warm. I just don't necessarily do it in a very dramatic way,
Right. Well, I mean, guys, luckily there's a lot of audio of us, so you can go back and let us know.
Yeah, true. They would know better than we would, Michelle.
Yeah, you can let us know. Do I draw out my words more than Lindsay, or does she do? Is this something that you've noticed? So let us know.
Yeah, a few years ago, I think there was something where a listener wrote in and said, Lindsay or Michelle says this all the time, right? They called us out on one thing we say a lot. We didn't even know it, right? Yeah. So you guys know better than we do what we actually say.
Yeah, sometimes it's like I'm almost scared that I said that you guys should do this, because then I'm like, oh gosh, they're gonna find something embarrassing.
We challenge our listeners. Yeah, I love it.
Exactly. So, all right, let's do another example.
Okay. Oh no, this is the venue?
Yikes, this is awful. Right.
So sometimes that happens. You show up and it's been built up in your head. People have talked about something is going to be amazing, and then it's terrible. looks awful.
Right.
So
Right. So, and again, the different, I didn't say this is awful. Like, it doesn't always have to be stretched out like that much, but just a little something. So, like, the difference would be, yikes, this is awful. Or, yikes, this is awful, right? So, it can just be a little bit extra. So, you can decide. You may say, oh, I don't want to be super dramatic, but I want to add a little.
Yeah. Michelle, do you want to do that difference again one more time, the normal way and then the stretched out way for our listeners so we can hear?
Okay, I'm going to do 3 ways, actually. So the first way is, yikes, this is awful, right? That's kind of neutral, right? Still expressing with your words and, or you could say, yikes, this is awful, right? A little stretch. And then the third way would be, yikes, this is awful, right? And maybe a little bit louder, a little longer, whatever it is.
Interesting. I love it. So you can decide how extreme, how kind of dramatic you want to be, guys. This is where we get to play around with our language. This is where it gets fun.
It is fun. It is fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else, Michelle?
Well, one of the things is like generally, you usually would like drag out the vowel, right? Awful, terrible, right? It's a little bit tough to drag out a consonant, really. Although I suppose, like in a way, sometimes you could be like it with like really, you could. But I think in general, we think about dragging out like a vowel sound, right, Lindsay?
Yeah, there's not really much of a way. So what you're saying with the really is the R a little bit, maybe the R sound, but yeah, generally it's the consonant. So a few more examples here, guys. You're holding your belly, you're stuffed. That was a huge meal, right? Maybe you say that after Thanksgiving dinner or something.
Right. Yeah. Or you could say that was so much fun.
Yes. Or there is never enough time. That's an interesting one. Yeah. So what is that? When would I use that? What scenario, Michelle?
If a visit with someone went by really fast and you're saying goodbye and you're like, I mean, that's how I feel like when I see my parents. I'm like, I feel like I go and then like it just flies by, even if it's a long time. It's like, oh, there's never enough time.
Yeah, that's an awful feeling when it's gone by and that's it. Yeah. What about a movies?
Well, you could say that was the funniest movie ever, right?
Ever.
Ever, right? So, or you could say that was the funniest movie ever, something like that. But, a lot of times we drag out the adjectives, not always the adjectives, but you might, if you're starting off with this, you could try that. But is this unprofessional?
Well, I think it just depends on how much you use it. I think you guys need to find ways to convey your emotion. If you feel strongly about something, you need to find a way to convey that at work, right? But if you are putting this intense emotion, the thing is, it's not that it's professional or not. It's more like you're going to weaken every single thing you say if you do it for everything, right? It's like anything else. You overdo it, then people underestimate the importance of it because you're saying it all the time. It can't be that important, right?
Right. That's true. So don't do it all the time, like we were saying before. But I mean, you could, like, if you were talking to a coworker, you could say, like, "Oh, that meeting was long," or something like that. But so it depends.
And I think if you feel like you have an animated personality, some of us have more animated personalities than others. If that's you in your native language, we are here to show you how to be you in English. That's the whole point of All Ears English. So if this is you, then go to town, right? Do it all the time.
and it could be that in certain situations or with certain friends or, that you feel more comfortable doing something like this, but at the workplace, you keep it a little bit different. So it doesn't mean that you have to change this for every single thing in your life or every single context.
That's a good point.
It depends. We all kind of have, differences depending on who we're with. And we try to be sincere to who we are, of course, but, we have kind of personalities that arise in different situations.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's a good point. I could imagine someone that goes to work every day and doesn't necessarily use this too much. Maybe they use it like 1% of the time. And then on the weekends, out with their friends, they're using it all the time because it's who they are socially versus professionally. So you could definitely be someone different. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, whew, this was fun. I did a
Yes.
lot of. I'm tired now. All that being dramatic really takes
Absolutely.
it out of you.
Absolutely.
So we're stretching things out and doing all
Stretching
sorts
things
of
out.
things.
Yeah, doing our stretches for the day, or stretches, right, Michelle? I mean, guys, think, the takeaway here in my mind is think about how you speak. Record yourself, right? Everyone has a recorder on their Android or iPhone. Record your voice, on a meeting or around your friends or something, and then listen and ask yourself, are you being monotone? If you are, then think about playing around with this a little bit. Right?
Yeah.
That's the key. Okay.
Absolutely. So a little assignment. So that could help you out with this. But yeah, Lindsay, this was a fun episode.
Really fun, Michelle.
All right. So guys, thank you for listening and or watching, and we will talk to you soon.
All right. Talk to you soon, Michelle. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.